What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Second Guessing with Stress, and I'm your host, Garrett Williams, aka Texans commenter. Today is, kind of a continuation of the Texans content creator spotlight series, and today I'm joined by Texans-Jacob and DrewScouts. Guys, welcome. How are y'all doing today?
Great. Thank you for having us on.
Yep, we're
Absolutely.
excited.
And so they're with the Texans Pro podcast. I'm sure some of y'all maybe seen me on there as well. But like I said, it's kind of the content creator spotlight series, to get to know them. But also, today was a joint practice with the Panthers, and Jacob and myself were there, as well as some other, content creators. So we probably won't go as heavy into the background on these guys. And we'll kind of just go into talking ball. I mean, I've enjoyed our dialogue we've had. I've been on y'all show a handful of times, and we all engage on Twitter. So, I can't wait to dive into it. But with that being said, I guess I'll start with you, Jacob. If you just want to kind of give me a background, like normally the question I ask for people that are like in this, whatever we call it, world we're in, give me a background on whatever you want to share, personal life, but kind of how you have become what you've become now with Texans.
Got you. Yeah. So, I mean, I've always been, a big Houston sports guy. Really, back in the day, I was more of a Rockets guy. I've kind of talked about this before. I played basketball, was the sport I played, throughout middle school, high school. So I was more into the Rockets. And then I want to say like 2019, 2020-ish was kind of when I really started getting into football. Like my dad had always really been into football, so I kind of was just natural. I watched all the games, but then I really started to get into it. And, maybe the last 2.5 years, I've really started to kind of dive into more of the the analytics of it and the film, which, that's the whole Texans Pro, is we just watch film essentially for an hour. So, that type of stuff, I've been able to really enjoy the last couple of years, and, seeing myself kind of understand the sport at a different level from when I did, even a couple months ago. It's really fun for me to be able to do stuff like that, and, have opportunities, throughout the off season, throughout the season. It's really fun. So.
And so for you, has it just been like a natural progression? Like you just started to like it more and more, and then like you just have like this hunger to learn more. And then also like with that, like how has it been for you to learn about the sport? Because, it's funny, we had this conversation, like a lot of people in talking assume because people never played or age or this or that, like they can't, or even like gender, like that, girls can't talk ball. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. So how has that been, like learning about the sport, and is it hard to do?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes some time. You have to do kind of, you have to focus in. Like even now, like when there'll be certain things where I'll go and watch tape, and then Drew later on maybe wants to or he watches the same tape and we have different opinions, and so we kind of debate that, or like we'll go into it. But at the end of the day, like Drew's been in this, he's done this for a lot longer than I have, so it's things like that. You kind of learn things, certain technique things. From people that have played, and then you can take away some of your takeaways, and you don't always have to agree with takeaways, but you can kind of learn different things from people. And even for me, just trying to learn whatever I can. There was a video that was I think it was, I forget who uploaded it, but I think it was like Thinking Football on YouTube, and it was just like the basic of pass protection. So I spent maybe, I don't know how many, I was here for 2 hours taking notes on different pass protections and stuff. So stuff like that is something that I really enjoy, and getting to learn about it. And like I've always really been into the number side of it. So I'm not sure what Stressen's. I think he's frozen.
Yeah. I was thinking the entire time.
But yeah, for anyone like going from basketball, I've always been a big math guy and a big numbers guy. So that's why if you follow me, you kind of see I post a lot of different numbers and stats and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I've always been into that. And then, getting to watch tape and stuff is something I've really enjoyed.
Yeah. Oh, and that was just me and Jacob. The Houston stress. I think there's a little stress going on for Houston Stressens right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're manning this down until Stressens.
So Jacob, who was the worst player at Texans training camp?
do you want to know the answer, or can you guess it off of context clues here?
I don't know. My guess would have been Dare Gunbowale, but
yeah, he was good. Dare looked good. He got a touchdown. He had a couple nice catches. He was in as the third down back still. Stressen's just texted my Wi-Fi LMAO. So he's gonna be back, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna text him. We're still going.
Yeah, let him know we're still going. Now the question is, did he do Dare? did Dario do something that Woody Marks couldn't or Johar Jordan couldn't do?
No, I talked about this.
Exactly.
No, he couldn't.
Exactly.
He didn't.
No.
But no, Dario was fine. The answer is Blake Fisher, which I mean.
That was. At this point, you just kind of like you feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Almost.
It's funny. Like the last like 2 series of the first team, they put him in at right tackle just because like Titus, they kind of know what he is. Like they don't need to see him.
Yeah.
It's like a confidence booster, and immediately like he got beat immediately, and like. The Panthers sidelines going nuts.
Look at you! You beat Blake Fisher.
Yeah.
So
but it was one of those where like the bend was just it was just so fishy. Sarah, we didn't kick Stressens out, man. We didn't take over the.
Who was the edge rusher that got him?
I don't know.
Was it Princely, or was it Scorton?
It might have been. Scorton left like early on in practice because he overheated apparently. So we didn't see Scorton at all, which is weird because he played at A&M. I don't know how.
Well, I guess for 1 year, I don't know. He had that time.
He's from like Texas though, so he's played
the
Heat before. Yeah, he grew up. It's actually a funny story because this is a whole A&M thing. He grew up in College Station and was a UT fan.
So, oh my god! Actually, you know what? I'm gonna transfer to A&M.
Yeah. All right. Stresson said he's gonna load back on. So Drew. We can pick up on the question we were doing earlier. So, like, what's kind of your background of what we've done? We've really never gotten into this on the Texans Pro, so we can kind of talk about this now until stress.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, first of all, Jacob has gotten very, very much better with the verbiage of football, and I love how sometimes he'll like say the exact description of the play, like this is wide zone, this is gap, this is power, this is a bunch formation. Like he gets it. He But back in the day, like he didn't know like all those things. So I'm just gonna be real. He didn't necessarily know all those things. But so it's really cool to see Jacob evolve there. But for me, I remember like 4 years ago, I got access. I had like my dad had like the NFL Plus thing, so I could watch the Texans all 22 film. So I would write up each play, write down the formation, and write down what went right and what went wrong for each play. And eventually I would like try to chart how many times the Texans like used motion or how many times they went to center and whatnot. And I guess it was the offensive coordinator. Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I did chart like a Pep Hamilton year essentially.
Okay, yeah.
I would do like film review, or I would like analyze the film myself. And then I started to do like that big draft board database that I had the last 2 years. Now, frankly, 2 years ago I was just watching YouTube highlights and kind of stuff like that. Last year started ramping it up more, watched real film, and I kind of was learning how to identify traits, write scouting reports on players, give them a draft grade, rank them amongst the players. So I've always been into watching film.
Yep.
And then I've just been trying to get a good job or an internship. And I was posting, I'm sure people remember In-Depth Texans, posting all that Texans, film review or, big news, whatever. That used to be me. But unfortunately, I got a job at the Senior Bowl.
Yes, sir.
I got a job with the Shrine Bowl.
Sir.
As the national scout for the Sun Belt Conference. So I'm assigned to teams like Texas State, Coastal Carolina. Even today I was telling some people about the center from South Alabama. You just kind of have to really be deliberate and be able to explain to your superiors who exactly that player is. And that's something I'm still working on today, but I get to watch, college football film, and I've even done reports on other teams within and I've also done FCS. I was also assigned to the FCS interior defensive lineman. So you see some interesting things to watch.
Hey, we're back. Hey, we made it. We're back.
Bro, my Wi-Fi goes out not very often.
I think people thought we just took over your stream, man.
I was yapping. I just had to start yapping.
I love that y'all kept it going. I guess my stream on X is still going through here.
Mine's going.
I don't know. We saw comments. So.
Yeah,
let's go. Get it. I mean, give me a second to reconnect my IG, but y'all keep doing your thing.
Yeah, let's do it. We were just talking about kind of our backgrounds as well. Drew was getting in his background with working with Shrine Bowl now, so we were continuing with the
Damn, I want to learn this stuff. Y'all don't even need me though. Y'all got it on your own.
I know. I was like mid conversation, and then I saw Drew's face. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, he definitely paused."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Froze up.
Literally paused.
Your eyes were closed. I don't know if you're getting sleepy or what was going on.
I am getting sleepy, but no, y'all keep going for 1 second. I'm gonna reconnect Instagram and I'm listening.
Okay, got you.
Anyways,
by the way, we have my guy Troy in chat. He said, "Could Fisher win against the FCS lineman?" Is the real question.
Oh my God.
Gray Zabel.
Gray, yeah, there you go.
Well, that's
I
an
would
offensive
take
lineman.
Zabel in a heartbeat. Wouldn't even. I would. I would take Gray Zabel on one leg probably.
But yeah, basically, I just get to write scouting reports on a bunch of different teams and specific position groups. So even now, like I'm doing some FCS edge rushers, and I watched an edge rusher yesterday that was 5'11" and 210 pounds, and he had the nastiest spin move I've ever seen in my life. I think it might have been better than Daniil Hunter's spin move. He goes to Southern Utah for those interested.
I gotta find this guy.
Hanko Brown, 5'11" edge rusher. He had like 50 pressures last year.
Oh my God.
Insane.
All right, so you said what are you doing with the Shrine Bowl, Drew? I'm sorry.
So I'm basically the national scout for the Sun Belt Conference, and so once it comes down to sending out invites for the Shrine Bowl, they're going to want to hear about who the best players in the Sun Belt are. And I'm not really sure about past history and like how many Sun Belt players have gone on to the NFL. I think Demario Davis, he went to Arkansas State. That's just like one player off the top of my head that I can think of. They're usually going to be lower round guys, stuff like that, and you just have to say, this is their best traits. This is what I think they can do in the NFL, and hopefully, they see the same thing that I see.
Well, that's crazy. So you said the Shrine Bowl, and obviously you're competing with the Senior Bowl. So are there some players from that conference that leapfrog you to go to the Senior Bowl at times, or?
I'm not so sure where we rank up between the Senior Bowl, but the Shrine Bowl had Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders go there, last year, and Elijah Huzzie. We love Elijah Huzzie.
We love the Huzz.
The Shrine Bowl. Ricky White, that's a good example.
Ricky White, UNLV.
There were some really good players at the Shrine Bowl. The Shrine Bowl and the Senior Bowl honestly feels even nowadays. So frankly, it's an honor to work for the Shrine Bowl and to be able to give input and do all these scouting reports.
That's dope. So I guess I kind of missed, like you're basically answering the question I gave to Jacob with your background. I take it you just grew up a football fan, but like are you aspiring to be a scout? I mean, you are a scout, but like, do you want to be like an NFL scout one day? Like, how did you get into what you're doing with the Shrine Bowl?
Yeah, so how I got into it, I guess the part you missed is like 4 years ago, we had the All-22. So I would watch every single play from every single Texans game, and I would analyze, what went right and what went wrong. And so, I played high school football, and we would watch film, and my defensive coordinator was always really hard on us and ironing out the details. He's one of those football guys, and so we always learned how to get better and watch film from him. And I'm 5'9", 150 pounds. I was never going to go play college football, so I wanted to find another way to stay around football. And so I just started watching a bunch of film. Eventually started writing scouting reports on college players, building out a draft database, which we kind of used on our NFL draft live stream when we had this. So we did that and just kind of talked a little bit about each player. I had like little reports on them, but now the reports I do are super detailed and super long, and we give grades, which also is correlated to a NFL projection.
So I got a couple questions on that. Like one, it's kind of like what I asked Jacob. Like he had to learn about the game. How have you learned? Is it kind of similar to him? But obviously you've been put into this world, so now you have access to more resources. And then the back part of that would be on these like reports and like the formalities of how it's done. Like, do they teach you from within there on like the structure of like the industry?
Yeah. So basically, yes, I got more resources. But in terms of the scouting report, we start with a body type, kind of like are they lengthy, are they thick, do they have a squatty butt? So we use some weird phrases sometimes, but you just have to get used to it. And the more reps, it's easier to identify the body types. So once you do that, you list their athletic traits, And then we'll go, for example, what I do for a running back is I'll say on rushing downs, Woody Mark is an explosive runner. He has vision. He's great action initiation. And then we
It's a lot
saw
of keywords or buzzwords that are like
a
common.
lot of buzzwords. And
But
then
they match up though. Like it's hard to explain certain things, but if you're in the industry long enough, like when I say this, I mean this. So like you can kind of speak the same language.
So once you talk about him as a runner, you can talk about him as a receiver. So in the Woody Marks, when he has the open space, he can easily catapult forward and take it. As a pass protector, he puts his body on the line. He has a little bit of natural leverage because of his size and that really muscular build helps him sustain his body at the point of attack. And then after that, you put a conclusion. So you probably would say this combination of burst, ability to catch the ball out of the backfield and accelerate, as well as protecting the quarterback projects as a you could say a third round pick, or also that role might be high end rotational running back at the NFL level.
That's awesome. And so like as far as your role at the Shrine Bowl, like how, because obviously scouts don't always agree. So like how is that, I guess checked with like is there someone above you and then like you have to like align your vision with theirs, or they just let you be you, and how does that work out?
Yeah, they definitely let us be us, but we have cross-check scouts that come in from other places. I don't even know their names, and they'll tell us what grade they had on the players that I graded. Sometimes mine are higher because I really like the player, or sometimes they'll put lower grades and whatever. I'll hate a player and they'll like the player a little bit more than I did. But at the same time, we will always see the player the same way. We will always describe them the same way because we know what we're doing. Now, at the same time, the grades can change because we value different traits differently.
And so like, the way to like fact check that after the fact, or like, true up on
years.
it would, but that would also be like, but I guess when you're scouting a guy for the Senior Bowl or the Shrine Bowl, I'm sorry, that's for them to be in that bowl, but then you're trying to project what they can be. So it's tough. Like, I mean, because you're evaluating that player now and you're trying to extrapolate what they can or can't be. And so it's hard to like prove whether you were right or wrong in a sense, almost, right? Like, oh, I said he could be this. I didn't say he was.
Yeah, that's the fun of it all. Like you really get to, and I'm excited. It's weird to say, I'm excited to watch Arkansas State play Marshall in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited to see the players that I like from each team. And then a couple of years, 3 years, I'm excited to see where did Jaquez Cross, the running back from Arkansas State, land up, because I might have a quality rotational NFL grade on him, but he might just not even be in the NFL at all. So I could be completely wrong, and we'll have to wait and see.
Well, and also too, just like the way we are as like humans and us being football fans, it's almost like us doing the 53-man roster. Like you have a guy that's like your hidden gem, but like if you find a guy that no one knows about and you are pounding the table for him, and he all of a sudden like makes it as a star, you're like, yeah, I told you. Like, is that something too, like in the back of your mind?
Yeah, that is something I'm looking forward to doing, and especially when we give our input. Like most likely, my superiors don't really watch the Sun Belt. They don't really know any of these players, so they have to, and they so far have trusted my opinion and trust what I'm seeing. And I have, my favorite players, my gems, whatever you want to call them, and hopefully they'll pan out.
Well, that's crazy. So I don't know if y'all knew, but like, I played at Stephen F. Austin and then Incarnate Word. I was a receiver. I didn't play a lot, so I wasn't great. I mean, I think I was talented. I just, it didn't work out for me. But I am involved with Incarnate Word and started a nonprofit, which we're essentially like a booster club for the program. So I've been like heavily involved with them. And like one of my good friends is the head coach there. So me just learning this about you, if you ever want to like interview him, or I can definitely put players on their team on your radar for you to scout. Jalen Walthall is a receiver out of there who could be like a 5th, 6th round pick coming out of there. He's I believe 2-time All-American. I know he was last year, but it's just cool to see that. I mean, if I would have known too, if you've been doing this for a while, I would have put you on Cam Ward, dude. I saw his first ever pass, and I said right there, he played in the spring at Lamar during the COVID year, and I said, this guy's an NFL quarterback, bro. And like, so I watched every one of his snaps.
Dude, you could be a scout too.
Yeah, I do a whole bunch of shit, but it would be tight. I guess I kind of am in a sense. But
no, you are. You absolutely are. Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure I've done scouting reports on both of the starting interior defensive linemen.
No way.
Wood,
okay.
So. Yeah, absolutely. Because I was assigned to do the defensive tackles for the top defensive tackles, which of course happen to be Incarnate Wood, very good football program in the FCS, and you just kind of do like the top 80 defensive tackles in the FCS. And
sorry, Jacob, that I'm
there.
like, this is all like, I didn't realize this. I don't mean to neglect you. I'm just.
I knew a lot of this, but I'm still enjoying hearing some of the insight.
So that's what I like about these conversations is like we all learn about each other, and like that's. So do you specialize on defensive tackles, or what's the?
I specialize on defensive tackles for the FCS. Yeah, I was assigned that. We have scouting reports on everyone. Everyone in the FCS. We even have someone that does it on Division III teams as well, and then someone that does special teams across the.
This is all just through the Shrine Bowl. Is there like some network where y'all kind of like coexist, or?
I'm not entirely sure.
Questions on this, man.
I'm not entirely sure about that, but I know that my boss, they talk to.
Well, if you could, I would like to see the notes on the Incarnate Word players, and then I can ask the coach like, "Hey, what's right, what's wrong?" If you want to add to it.
Yeah, I would be happy to. Read some of these. Ask Jacob a question real quick.
Jacob, why aren't you a scout?
That's not my calling card there, man.
Nah, you're good. I mean, but you break down film too, like so also just tell us like a little about your personal life. So like you go to U of H now, right? Like second year at U of H. How's that going?
Yeah. So I'm 19 for people that don't know. So I'm pretty young here. I started getting going with this when I was around 17. So I've always been younger in the group of content creators, but starting. So first year I went to community college. I'm starting at U of H in I guess a week and a half now.
Nice.
So definitely excited about that. Other things, I mean, obviously I do all the Texas stuff. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say that's good. I mean, you don't have to like talk about personal stuff, but I mean, no, I guess like I have a question. I have like a question to ask you though. Is like okay. You seem to be pretty smart. Like when I asked about you learning the game and teaching yourself, but like you're an account or a person that gets pretty in depth. You do a lot of probing. That's why you're the Texans probe.
Yes, sir.
But you use a lot of advanced stats. So kind of tell me about that, like how you kind of have learned through that, and is there certain things you like over other stats? Just kind of talk about that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, this is my alley here when it comes to the stats.
There we go.
That's true, and I the analytics and stuff. That's me. Like that's the Texans probe right there. Is like I get into the numbers, and then Drew does the. For me, like analytics have always been something that I've enjoyed. Like I was always like I've always enjoyed math as a whole. So I've always been good with numbers. So any sport, like I think I was talking about this today with people. I think for me the toughest sport to use numbers in is football. I think there's just way too much variety that you can like. There's certain stats that yes they work, but as a whole, they're more team stats. Like MLB, there's so many different stats that you can use to quantify what a player is worth value-wise. The same thing goes in the NBA now. Like the NBA has so many different advanced stats, and even from a guy like I said, I've always been into basketball, so I've always kind of focused on I've always watched the Rockets. I always kind of got into those numbers. So like that's something that I've always done. But then the NFL, there's very few stats that I think are actually value a single player. Like EPA is a great stat for team. It's a team stat though. Like quarterback EPA per play is valuable game to game, but as a whole season and a sample size, I don't think it really matters. It's his team stat at the end of the day, because if a quarterback takes a sack that's not on him, it goes against his EPA per play, and it's not his fault. So that's what makes the NFL hard for single player evaluations, and that's why PFF is as big as it is, because they try to value a player and grade the player. Well, I don't really care about the grades necessarily. I think that's why they're as popular as they are. But I think you see plenty of these advanced stats that they do, like turnover worthy plays, that are really good stats to have. Big time throws are great stats to have. What are some other examples of some good stats that they do? They do. They get past the rating when.
Even just like alignment stuff for me, or like type of run, zone versus gap, or alignment, box, safety, all that stuff.
Yeah, and now you have NFL Pro where you can sort by, the run concept. You can sort by under center versus in the shotgun. Like all this stuff, it makes covering it for me a ton easier for me. Like I'm not the most. I don't watch a play and I can't name you the concept a lot of the time. I can name you the routes, but then if you're like looking for a concept name, I'm go to Drew. I'm like, Drew, what
But it takes time to learn too, and then even then, it's not always crystal clear. I mean, you know.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, I don't know if you were here for that point, but like even Drew was saying, like where I've gone from 2 years to now when understanding concepts and stuff, it's a vast difference of where we're at. Yeah. But as a whole, for me, the number side of it, and you know, things like that are always something that I've really enjoyed, and I think that is where I specialize. And like we said, that's Drew specializes in the scouting of it. So when we come together, we'll get the draft and stuff going like that. We'll start covering players. So it works out perfectly. You know, we have
it's a good balance. Yeah. And then like, as far as like the stats, like you mentioned, like, you know, football is a little different. And then it's also like some stuff has nuance to it. It's imperfect. So like, is that something like, you know, you're a big stat guy, like you continually are improving the way you view stats, and now you have like your own way of like mixing and matching and looking at certain things to know like what, like a process, I guess.
Yeah,
you're kind of making your own stat by like knowing which ones to use.
100%. Yeah, you know, like I said, so EPA per play is like the base of like what you're going to use for offense, defense, and I stand by that. Like I think those are the two best to kind of evaluate different teams. But I also think it's important, like, to me, you got to combine that, your offensive EPA per play, with the success rate. Like I was talking about this with Nico. The Texans' issue last season was not necessarily that they were a bad explosive team. They had big plays. They were horrible down to down. So they were actually I can pull it up. Let me see, because I don't remember the exact number they were. So they were like 21st in EPA per play. They weren't good in that either. But then if you go to their success rate, they were, I'm trying to get it to pull up. Let me see. So they were 31st in success rate. They were horrible down to down. Like they were only in front of Cleveland, who was starting Jameis Winston and DTR and Deshaun Watson for most of the season. Like they were really bad. And
that's like a snowball effect, just from me, just like thinking about from like just the generic view. Like, okay, you're bad on first down. Now you're more likely to be bad on second down.
Yep.
And that's the second and long, third and long. Now you're more likely to be bad on third down. You know?
Yeah. And like you said, it's a snowball effect. And I think people kind of this is a take that I have off of, you know, kind of something. And I haven't really talked about this, and I kind of want to get into this because, you know, Brett Coleman kind of talked about this as well. I think people overrate third downs. And as a whole, the reason a lot of teams are bad on third down is because they're bad on first and second down. If you get into good yardage on your first and second downs, you're not a bad third down team. That's just not how it works.
Well, like how many teams are good at third and long? And like we see the NFL, these D coordinators with these athletes and these exotic packages of, you know, like mugging the line of scrimmage and then dropping guys or whatever, like throwing all kinds of smokes and mirrors at you. On top of that, having edge rushers who can get to the quarterback less than 2.5 seconds, and you're trying to throw it 20 plus yards down the field. Like, it's pretty hard to succeed when it's third. So like, I wonder if there's a way to filter out the third and longs to make it fair. But like, to your point,
yeah, there actually is. I'm pulling it up right now because I think NFL Pro does do that.
Well, I guess you just look at first and second down metrics, I guess, to get a clearer picture.
But again, that kind of just goes, you know, for the point that I think a lot of us have talked about. The Texans were a somewhat good third down team, which makes no sense. Like they should have not been a good third down team, but
that's CJ Stroud improvisation,
exactly.
Right? I mean,
him and Nico Collins saved them a ton on third downs. And, you know, Drew and I, we've talked about this. We've gone in depth on this so many times. But he bailed them out in a lot of situations. So I had the numbers here. So on third and long, the Texans were 13th in EPA per pass, which should not be the case because their distance was the longest, I think, outside of Chicago.
So again, that's not relative. Like third and long, like, okay, they could be third and 20 on their average, and so could be third and 8, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so the Texans ran the second most plays in third and long situations. So the other ones that were at the top were Cleveland, was what were they? So
you made a tweet about that?
I think I did. So Cleveland, so the other top, there was 3 teams that were, so there's essentially 4 teams that are above like the one.
Is this NFL Pro you're on? Sorry, I'm interrupting you so much. No, I have access to these tools, but I don't know how to use them. So I'm about to like get a tutorial from you one day.
You know, me and Drew have talked. We've gone so in depth with NFL Pro. Like we've been experimenting with it for so long now. We've kind of figured it out. So I can give you some tips on how.
I'm gonna do a Zoom with you one day and get a tutorial from you.
But okay, so there were like the top 3 teams, and like that ran the most third and long plays. So longest third and 7+. Like you said, it could be 8, it could be 11. They don't specify the distance, but so the Texans were 13th. So they were second in the plays ran, and they were 13th in EPA per pass. The other two teams
and one pause too, though, like if you have more volume, then your chances of being better are probably lower because it's already a hard. So like that makes it even more impressive to be ranked that high with that amount of volume.
Yeah. And so the top 3, like I said, were Chicago, Cleveland, Houston. So Houston was 13th, Chicago was 31st, and Cleveland was 30th in EPA per pass. It's not like what the Texans did last season on third down, and they did even if you want to go, we can go back to 2023, and I guarantee it's been the same way.
Absolutely.
The Texans ran what is this? So they ran the 9th most third and long plays this season, and they were 13th again. So like it doesn't make sense. They should not be
same thing in 2023 essentially.
Yeah, except
that's what we saw and observed, and like I had my concerns about Slowick, but I kind of suppressed it, like nah, it's not that bad. But a lot of people were kind of like ringing the sirens, like nah, like but yeah, like it was there, right? And it was the same thing again. I mean, we just somehow survived it the first year. I guess it was the same result this year.
Yeah, but I will say that the biggest difference is if you want to go. You want to talk about offensive line play, and you want to talk about the issues that caused. That was the biggest difference in what happened to the third down offense, because the third down offense, that when they actually got throws off, was better statistically last season than they were this year. Like they did a better job picking up these if they didn't get sacked or pressured. So I have the numbers here because this is kind of a drastic difference. And I don't think I've actually talked about this, so I'm kind of geeking out on it now that I'm kind of noticing this.
New.
So on third and long pass plays, the Texans had a 59.5% pressure rate. So that is near 60% pressure rate. That's number 1 in the league by 4%. That is number by 4%. And number 2 is the Chiefs, where Patrick Mahomes holds the football intentionally on third and longs. And Stroud's not really that type of quarterback. So it doesn't really make sense that they should be that high. And number 3 is New Orleans, in case you were curious. And New Orleans is a team that lost like 4 starting linemen. Like Eric McCoy got hurt week 2, and that was a huge loss for them, or week 3, whatever it was.
And
oh no! Oh, this happened last time we were recording.
I guess the stats gods got him. But I was gonna. There he goes. This is an eventful stream. We're all kind of having our own issues, but here's Jacob. He's back.
I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. What I was saying was, my Wi-Fi. Me and Drew have kind of realized this. My Wi-Fi has one mess up at stream. It's good the rest of the stream, but one time a stream, it's gonna glitch out on me.
All right, Drew's next, and then we're good. I got mine out of the way too.
Yeah, but my point was, so the Texans in 2023 were 27th in pressure rate on third and longs, and they ran a lot of third and longs. The line just blocked it better. Like there was no way around that. Teams figured out ways to beat them. And like I said, Stroud did pretty much everything he could do on third and longs in 2024. They shouldn't have been as good as they were throwing the ball, especially because I think they were they're number 8 in passing percentage on third and longs as well. They didn't try to run the ball because they weren't going to get it. They weren't going to get anywhere.
It was known passing downs. Yeah.
I remember the distinct 3rd and 10 against Detroit where they tried to run the football and they lost 2 yards, which I don't know how that's possible on a 3rd and 10.
That's because he was watching Ben Johnson film, and Ben Johnson's notorious for that. He's like, let me try a little bit of that.
Yeah. But yeah, so
I think something to note too, though, is like the change in 2023 to 2024 on the third downs is the O-line got worse, but it was also where the pressure was coming from. I feel like the pressure wasn't as much in the interior in 2023. So then that allowed CJ more time to step up and out and move and maneuver and buy time. Like we saw him as like a magician, like in the, extending the play in 2023. But like when you had the interior pressure, like you really didn't like when he was under pressure, like the pressure was there. He didn't have the chance to escape. And that's just, an observation, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, and me and Drew have talked about this plenty of times. Shaq Mason, I was never the biggest Shaq Mason fan even in 2023, but the difference between Shaq Mason in 2023 and 2024 was huge. Like it went from like I thought he was above average as a guard to like I don't know if he's even playable at this point. It was a quick fall off for Shaq Mason. And really, the quickest fall off. I don't think he was even a good run blocker in 2023. Like that, I don't think he was a very good run blocker for them, especially in the wide zone type thing. But 2024, his pass blocking was just pitiful. Like he was a good pass blocker in 2023. He was a good pass protector.
That was the name of his game, and when you lose the name of your game, you become unplayable. If you lose your best trait, then what?
So
do
what
you
do you
have
think,
left?
Drew? You think he just got old and got washed? Did he just mess around the offseason? He wasn't locked in? I mean, because he was like, and like it's funny like how our opinion or standards for linemen is not crazy. Like, we just want like average to maybe even slightly below average. We just don't want ass, you know?
I agree. Well, Shaq Mason is an interesting player because he's short. He's short in terms of height, and his arms are also short. And so, yes, he literally just got a little bit older, maybe a little bit more out of shape. He wasn't moving very well, and he started to duck his head. His biggest problem was he continuously ducked his head on rushing and passing downs. His balance was totally off, and it's just weird to see a veteran kind of lose their technique. But it's also because he was just overcompensating for the loss of athleticism. And I guess it's just kind of one thing to look out for when a player gets older. Are they overcompensating for the deficiencies?
You start ducking your head. You try to like lunge or lean, right?
Yeah, exactly. But he always had short arms. Like that didn't change. So like, well, why are we changing it? You don't have the best reach. To get your.
You want to know the other guard of the Texans that ducks his head a whole lot? Juice Scruggs.
Juice Scruggs, big head ducker, big time.
So what's the term in scouting? Is that the term a head ducker? Is there like a little colloquial saying for that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I'll always say head ducking, unproportioned, weight distribution, balance, that kind of thing. He was probably also on the tip of his toes as well. Everything's just
tippy toe, man. That's Blake Fisher, baby. That's all Blake Fisher playing on his tippy
So
toes.
Drew, what is?
Go ahead. You always need to be on the balls of your feet.
That's like athletics 101. Like you're taught that like in any
sport.
In any anytime you're like taught to run, like people run, we're like, no, you run on the balls of your feet. Shout out Black Lion. He would like this. I don't know if he just tapped in, but he's a big film guy as well. So it looks like some people are enjoying, if you're kind of getting, caught in the middle of it, this is TexansJacob and DrewScouts, which I believe is y'all's handles on all social media, correct? Is that exactly? Yeah. They have the Texans Pro podcast. Jacob is a big analytics stats guy. Drew's an actual scout. And they both like to watch film. Young, smart guys, love the game. So it's been a good combo so far. But Drew, back on the scouting, I got to ask this, and then maybe we can kind of pivot into camp after this. But what are some of your favorite like sayings for evaluating players, like oily hips or something like that?
Ooh, explosive and controlled mover is the one thing I look for in really any athlete, defensive back, wide receiver. Thick rear end, concentrated mass in their midsection, stuff like that. Pretty much, short, nothing crazy. I know some of friends, kind of co-workers that will use the frame like barrel chest,
which is what Titus got a barrel chest out of nowhere this offseason, right? He got the barrel chest.
You see fatty midsection, something.
Well, we gotta create our own like ridiculous saying and get it to catch on. And I'll use you as my vessel.
I think we really, like, for people that watched the Texans Pro last season, we really put people onto the head ducking thing though. Because we talked about that for like every week for 5 years.
Shaq Mason, baby.
Like 5 weeks. It was Shaq Mason. It was Juice.
Bobbing for apples. Is that a saying? Bobbing for apples. That could be like he's a total apple bobber. Yeah, you seen that guy?
I am totally gonna pitch that in my next meeting.
That's like, that's a good one. What do you think of this right guard out of the Sun Belt? Oh, he's total apple bobber. Not good.
Apple bobber. By the way, I saw my guy Steve in the comment, man. I did see the Theo Ash thing about her. I didn't see that.
Now at the same time, it was 2 reps. It was like 1 pass protection rep and one run blocking rep, and then the ones after that. He actually had a very strong first punch, and he was able to drive the defender at least 3 or 4 yards downfield.
The one thing I want to say about that, and I respect Theo Ash a lot. Like, I think he did
I agreed with him though, technically.
The one pass protection thing he showed was a false start. The play didn't count. Like Ursery and the edge rusher were not going. Essentially, the play was the Blake Fisher false start. So I'm like, I get the technique doesn't look great, but he's also not really taking a full step. Like the play got blown dead. So I'm like, I get the technique thing, but I'm kind of like, when he did other things in pass protection and he didn't do it, I'm kind of like, okay, does it really make a huge difference there? Like, if that becomes a thing and we watch next week or this week, I guess Saturday, and that's still a thing, then yes, I will agree that I would be concerned about it. But I also think he's done enough good things and he's done enough good technique things. That's a fixable thing. You can fix that at the end of the day. Don't overcompensate for things.
He's very strong, and great terminology there, overcompensating. He needs to understand that he is stronger than everyone else. So he doesn't actually have to play that fast. No, it's all natural, baby. You got all that natural power. Just use it. Calm down. Keep your eyes up. You'll be fine. Which he did on the very next play.
So I didn't see the Theo Ash video, but I did watch his reps. And what I noticed he did multiple times in the run game, which I don't know. I'm assuming he might have accused him of ducking his head on this. But, the edge that he was blocking would crash in, and all he did was wash him away. I don't know if that's what he was saying, but, if the guy's going down away from you, you have to duck your head into him. But he took his momentum and took him where he wanted to go. And the backs were good enough to watch that and, be patient and let him wash him out. To me, I was watching that and I thought, because I saw the grade on PFF too, I couldn't help but think that maybe they saw those plays and thought because he didn't keep his edge right there, they might have gave him a miscue. But maybe his coaching point, which I would agree with, hey, if this guy's going to aggressively slant and it's man-to-man blocking, then just wash him out, and it works.
This is something that I've kind of talked about with PFF. I think Drew and I have had this exact conversation multiple times with the Texans defensive tackles, because the way that they're designed to play is not to fill gaps, it's to shoot gaps. They're not trying to fill gaps. So PFF, knocks them for that, but that's not what they're trying to do. So that's why, again, I think PFF grades are useful in a vacuum. You have to use them along with eye test and watching the tape back. Because, there's certain guys where I think PFF gets it right. Like this weekend, I thought Juice Scruggs to the eye test. I'm like, okay, when I first watched the game, I'm like, okay, I thought he had a pretty good game. And then I watched the tape and I'm like, I don't think he played very well. That was just the reality of it. So there's certain things. It's my mouse, by the way. I have a mouse, so I'm
I don't know. You were. I agree with Scott. You were. I feel bad for that damn keyboard, damn, bro.
Yeah, the one thing about PFF that I noticed is you can use it to see, okay, yeah, I understand why this guy had a 90 and I understand why this guy graded out at a 55. You can see that, but between a 75 and a 63, sometimes I just don't see it.
Well, that's all good too. So scheme is basically what Jacob is saying matters, and they may not know scheme. And then your earlier point about PFF, they are the only source out there too. So it's almost just a guide, but we need it because we all need something to start with. But I think they're pretty good for the most part. And then if it's a good grade, we'll just say it's the best shit ever. And if it's terrible, we'll say it's the worst shit ever.
The cornerbacks one will always drive me crazy.
Yeah. There's still I know they have a bunch of people doing it and they have a system, but there still is a human element to it where it's still opinion based in a sense. But that being said, it's the one and only thing out there.
And the thing that a lot of the PFF, the top PFF guys will tell you is they don't even really value their rankings that much. It's all interns and stuff that do the rankings. It's not the guys that you see that actually represent PFF on podcasts and stuff like that. So they use their rankings, but they more so use the stats from PFF more than anything. The ratings are all subjective at the end of the day. You can think, okay, this rating's correct, and then you can think another one's not correct. It's different people that grade it every week, so it's not ever going to be the same guy. They're going to have different opinions on different plays. That's just the reality of it. Everyone at the end of the day has different opinions on scouting. It's just they just put it out there for people to read. So
but again, we need something as a guide. So this has been cool though. As far as we haven't even talked about current stuff. This is just talking nerd stuff, and I've enjoyed it, man. I could do this for
man. We're just here talking ball, so.
Yeah. So we'll kind of transition into, training camp. Drew, I'll start with you. Obviously, me and Jacob were at practice today, but maybe, I don't know if you saw or observed stuff, if you want to talk about today or just overall, your thoughts overall with camp. maybe highlight like an overall observation of the offensive line, or maybe any standouts, something like that.
Okay.
Just anything that comes to mind.
I've been a bit busy today.
What'd you do today? Sorry, go ahead.
I had a 5-hour drive from Houston to Baton Rouge, so I settled in. Had a 2-hour meeting.
What'd you go to Baton Rouge for?
Stuff.
Did you already explain this to the chat or no? Okay, I didn't have internet. Yeah, he's back in school at LSU.
Student LSU back in Baton Rouge. Anyways, my big observation has been kind of the offensive style. We're talking a lot of gap scheme runs, under center, and at the end of the day, you're going to focus on quick game and then deep play action shots. And honestly, that's I think what me and Jacob have been saying that's going to happen the second we hired Kaylee. So I'm glad that we got something right.
It's messed up, engineer. Back off. They're my nerds.
Yeah. Another observation is that the Texans may be kind of easing, the running backs in. Daria Gumbawale seems to get a lot of the first team reps for whatever reason over Woody Marks and Jahar Jordan. And I'm really, really intrigued to see what the 53-man roster looks like, because you know how they always kind of like had those special teams guys. And what are they going to do there? Are they going to keep a Jamal Hill? Are they going to keep a Solomon Byrd? Players that can make real plays. Yes, we are hoping. Players that can make real plays on defense, or are they just going to, keep Nick Neiman? Are they going to keep a D'Angelo Ross? And also, I really like Russ Yeast. I'll finish with that. I think Russ Yeast is a very good athlete. He's got the reactive athleticism, the quick trigger, downhill speed. I don't know exactly what his size is, but he's clearly a better athlete than MJ Stewart. And I would take him.
He pops too. Like he has that swarm. Like he's aggressive. Like you can see. But I would agree with that. But my analysis whenever the injury happened to C.J. Gardner-Johnson is, and I kind of like when I predict what I think will happen is based off of while I talk over this loud ass keyboard from Jacob.
Yeah,
I was looking up Russ Yeast.
No, you're good. It's just like I don't know if like your mic is like in your keyboard or what. But damn.
My bad, man.
No, you're good. It's fine. I'm busting your balls because Scott pointed out in the chat. But where was I going with that? I was talking. So like I base it off of like what I see them do, and it was confirmed today in D'Amico's presser. But like I would probably like the higher upside, more athletic guy. But D'Amico has showed us even over the years when we've had safety injuries. Like I was on stream last night with DJ Bieneme, and we brought it up. Like they brought in DeAndre Houston Carson off the street to play for us, and he played decent. So like. But at that position, the strong safety position, which seems to be a big communicator position where you're getting guys lined up. And we've seen how, on the flip side last year, offensive line, like if you're not getting that part of the game down, you're kind of screwed. So he said it today, like if you can't get guys lined up, if you can't communicate, you're not going to play for me. So that could be part of it with Russ Yeast. He may be the better athlete, but he may take time to get there. MJ Stewart, he's not flashy, but D'Amico does value those boring, steady Eddie, consistent, reliable guys. So I think that was what I would add to that. But I agree.
That's a good point. And that's probably where they will go. It's just interesting to see, will their philosophy ever shift a little bit more towards those high upside athletes because the team is so deep, because they have the culture in the locker room? Will they do it? Probably not. But
yeah, I mean, and who knows? Like maybe he does pick it up sooner or later, but that's just an observation I've noticed from D'Amico. I try to like learn the way he thinks. But Jacob, what were you going to add to that?
I was just going to say, I did look up Russ Yeast height and weight. I looked up his size. So he's 5'10", 195.
Stout.
That's a filled out frame.
So what would be like the scouting buzzword just off the top of your head for that kind of build?
Lean, muscular build with high-end reactive athleticism, smooth transitions.
That's where like you guys know your stuff, but like you just recited, like your brain just went into like you just went unconscious. So like,
yeah, I know it's kind of robotic.
But like I mean, you can. I'm like that too. I'm a good BSer, so like you could probably convince anybody on any player by using just crazy descriptions and crazy words.
Probably. Basically, my job is to, if I'm really high on a player, describe it that way. If I'm really low on a player, say Shaq Mason's arms are really short. He's undersized and he ducks his head. An apple bottom, like you said.
Dude, that
we got it.
You said that. I knew exactly what you meant. That's a good description. And I meant to ask you earlier when you were talking about it too, like from me, obviously I'm not a scout, but I played, watched football, and I guess in my head, analyzed guys. And I feel like a lot of personnel, coaches, and scouts do this, but you do kind of have certain builds at certain positions usually translate to certain skill sets. So is that something that you see, and then you kind of start with that and like see if it matches up, and every now and then you got an anomaly?
Yes. Yeah, one of my favorite players in the Sun Belt is a 6'3", 225-pound 5 technique. But he still wins. He had 6.5 sacks last year, but he just can't stop. He can't stop the run. But he also has room to grow in his build. So it's like an interesting thing where this guy could put on 10 pounds of muscle, some more weight there too, and all of a sudden you have this versatile pass rusher, blazing blitzer as well. He can turn speed into power. He has active, efficient hands. And he could be a nightmare as a run defender if he would just put on some more weight because he's such an outlier.
So then that's where you can find an advantage, because it feels like most people, like, you see this guy, he's this. Like I said, like this certain height and weight, you extrapolate them to that. But like an example would be like Jamal Hill, like, someone who was a safety who got converted to linebacker. He's not your typical build, but now you can kind of like, because you're kind of going against it's more risky, but I guess you can kind of get some diamonds in the rough that way too, huh?
Yes, and also Sun Belt to NFL, a lot different, weight programs, training programs. So that's where you just kind of got to look for traits. Are they still dominating from being out of position, a little undersized? Do they look raw in areas that you can improve?
Jacob, are you going to add something to that prior? Okay,
no,
cool.
I'm just listening here, man.
Okay, yeah, love it, love it. So Drew has like I liked your observations and takes on Nick Caley in the offense. I think I agree. I think Jacob agrees. People in the chat, like basically quick game and then deep passing game, focus on the run, more gap scheme, more downhill duo stuff, which I like. Like to me, it's it's funny too. Like they're basically been telling us like we're gonna run a boring physical offense. We're gonna not lose yards. We're gonna focus on not making mistakes. We're going to focus on just getting at least a couple yards and setting ourselves up to be in better positions. And that's what they're doing. Like that one drive, I thought in the Vikings game epitomized what they've been saying. I mean, did you see that, Jacob?
Yep. I mean, and you go to camp today, and the first drive was a lot of similar things. It's 12 personnel with Jacob Johnson on the field and and going with these big personnel. And we'll get into I'm sure we're gonna get into kind of some of the takeaways, but I think some of the issues from the offense in the middle of the day kind of stem from trying to work the quick game almost too much. Like at some point you have to have a counter, and they struggled at some points to make the counter. Stroud would have to hold the ball. No one's open in the short game, and then there's nothing really open, and that was the biggest issue for them today, and it's kind of been the biggest issue. They haven't had the deep threat yet. They haven't really unlocked the deep ball in camp yet. The quick game's been working. Stroud had a good day today. He played well. Offensive line did a pretty good job. They've had some issues with different spacing things. I thought the Hutchinson pick, if you go watch the video, was just bad spacing. I thought Kirk ran his it was kind of a bench concept. Like he ran his out too deep, and you allow Jackson to play both of the guys and go pick the ball. Hutchinson. This
is the pick in the end zone.
Yeah.
Okay, where'd you see film on that? I've been trying to figure out what happened.
A Panthers fan had the end zone shot. You want me to see if I can find it? I think I saw it.
Because I was curious, from where we were sitting.
You couldn't see it from where we were.
DJ was pressured and he flushed the pocket right, correct? And then it just looked like he just threw it up. But you're saying it was two guys in the same area essentially.
It looked to me like a mistake from. Yeah, it looked like a bad space. Let me find. I forget Jackson's name. What's his name?
But yeah, and so what Jacob is saying, I was there as well, and I kind of saw the same things, and we hadn't really talked much about what we saw besides in the moment. And I think he's making a couple good points. I would much rather have the problem of trying quick game too much as opposed to too little, which is what we had last year. So we're overtly trying to do it, and it did seem in that middle part where the Panthers kind of caught on to the quick game. I think maybe if you run certain concepts enough, or they realize your approach, they learn to kind of take stuff away. And that was a takeaway too that I observed from training camp was, I think maybe we got beat physically for a sack, like maybe once or twice, but a couple of the other ones, most of them, whether they were sacks or CJ getting flushed, was guys weren't open. And I think that's kind of what Jacob said with the receiver, the concepts. It could be that we're still running vanilla stuff, even though it's a scrimmage. You're not game planning for them. You're kind of working on your four core fundamentals. They could have caught on. You probably could have ran the same 4 plays every drive and they just catch on type of thing. I don't know if it's as much of a separation concern, which it might be a little bit, like, outside of Christian Kirk. Nico can still separate, but if you kind of have Higgins or Hutch, they're not an extreme separator, but I think it's more so the scheme stuff you're talking about. Do you have the video?
I do. I'll share my screen. Let me get this up. I do have the video. And so obviously can y'all see this?
Share the screen, add to the scene. I guess I have to press a button.
Boom. All right.
Okay.
So here. So this is the one pick. This is like the one mistake that Stroud really made today.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be in this corner. Let's see.
Huh.
So to me, there's 2 guys in the same spot. This ball's supposed to go to Kirk. I had it backwards, but this ball's supposed to go to Kirk, and I think Hutch runs too deep.
Yeah, you got to stay flat.
Yeah,
but he's probably fighting to get to the 3rd down marker, so it's kind of like because that looks like it's completed if he doesn't undercut it and
Kirk's
jump up.
Open. Kirk has it. And
let's see, could he put like more touch and depth on it a little bit or no?
Let me slow down the video. That's the wrong thing.
That's why we got you, Jacob. You're like, I wouldn't even think to do that. Freaking genius.
I don't really think. I think if you float this anymore, the corner probably gets back.
What'd you say, Drew?
If you look at his arm angle and how the ball initially comes out, it's just way too low.
It's kind of flat, right?
It doesn't look very pretty.
So I thought he was rolling out. He wasn't, but there was pressure barreling down from the right tackle, right?
Yeah.
Who is right tackle here? I think it's Titus. Could be wrong. That is, that's Titus. Oh well, is it?
Fisher was in there with the one.
Yeah, he was. It actually looks like it's coming from Ingram to me.
Yeah, the tackle's good.
I
think it is a blitz, though, to be fair. So,
I think he was feeling the pressure. If you just look at the transition, kind of like right here, it just kind of comes out a little wonky. I don't think it's as fluid as he would really want his.
And plus, you got a couple of apple bobbers going on in front of him, so that doesn't help.
Oh my
God. But like you said, Preston, that's a good point about the 1st down marker, because I do think even if the arm angle is a little bit weird, if Hutch runs it a little bit flatter.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Also, great play by the cornerback.
I mean, he basically backpedals and then jumks up. That's
I have some other. Do you want to pull out some other videos from the?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. And
I actually posted all the touchdown videos from.
Who's that handsome guy up there?
So here, this isn't. I guess this isn't like the greatest angle of it, but you get. This was easy. This was just like walk in.
He was that wide open.
So this is a concept that and so this is something I want to point out. Like, Nick Caley, when we got him, everyone's like, okay, is he going to be New England? Is he going to be Rams? He's going to be a mix of all of it. And the good OCs, and he said this too, like, we'll also keep doing the same things we're good at. So we're not completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So although the scheme and offense wasn't great with Slowick, there were things that we did good. So he's going to keep those things. And this is one of them. Nico Collins in the red zone on a glance or a skinny post or a deep slant was freaking money. And we saw it 2 times today.
Yep. Here, there might be a better video of some of these. But this is.
And he could be our backup punter.
Yeah. Second one, this is your Daria Gubawale touchdown.
Now we really don't need Daria.
What is this? I'm sorry, Daria. What?
This is
touchdown.
This is Stroud the Daria touchdown. Good pass pro from the offensive line. It's kind of zoomed in.
Oh, this was good. He went through his progressions. That was his 3rd read. I remember watching that 1, 2, 3, and look at that touch. What's the analogy on that throw right there, Drew, scouting wise?
Well,
a little
move the camera angle
right here. The little over the shoulder motion. What do you call that?
Over the shoulder. Well, that's what you would call it.
It's kind of a across the body no look a little bit.
A little bit cross body, kind of a
hold the safety with his eyes. Man, I could be a scout,
Hutch
man.
with
You just got to talk a
velocity.
bunch of crap. I'm just kidding.
That was
All right, here we go.
Oh, this
That was
play.
a
Show
cool
this
throw
play.
back
This
there.
is good pass pro.
oh my god.
Ursary buries a
Yeah,
guy.
Jacob.
Ed Ingram gets beat, sticks with it,
Yeah, this
finishes.
was a good show of athleticism for Ed, actually.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
They
Drew,
should
give
be
us your
posting
analysis on
talking about
this.
that. Well, we've talked about this last time. We think that Ed Ingram is a really, really good athlete. Is he's going to be able to recover because he has both speed and agility. I don't believe he's the tallest guy as well, so a little bit more compactly built, and he's going to be able to mirror and
Mirror and
match.
match. There's the buzzwords.
I do
and
see
then
I do see some
Mirror
head
match.
ducking here, though.
apple bobbing, you mean?
No. That's not head ducking.
That's like body
turned around
ducking,
Yeah.
his whole
there.
body. What about Ursary on this play?
You can't even really see him
Ursary
until
was-
he pancakes the guy.
Oh yeah. That's
So
just
do you
pancakes.
think he
It's
might have
simple.
put his hands on him and pulled him down, or the guy
Yeah,
just
that's what he
slipped?
did. You can kind of see his hands.
What's that move called if you're a lineman and you kind of throw him down?
I don't know. I would sometimes just call it like a grip
Okay.
and pull. That's kind of sometimes what you see is like a counter move or a secondary attack move by offensive or defensive lineman. They'll just kind of get you in the right spot. They'll gain their leverage back, and also with that good grip strength, you can just take them
All
down.
right.
Yeah. And then
And we're at an hour. Y'all still good on time, or?
Oh yeah, I'm good, man.
Okay, we'll go for this. I'll check
Yeah.
back in, but we don't have to go crazy long.
And then this was the highlight play of the day, and it was kind of tough from where we were sitting to get the good video, but you
Yeah.
get Stroud to Kirk in the back
Kirk
of the end zone.
climbing the ladder,
What a
dude. I
catch.
didn't know he could do that. I was in the bleachers. Like, you can't really tell from here, but like I'm looking at it now, but like it felt like he went up higher than what he did there on the film.
Yeah.
But like that surprised me. I didn't know he
It was a good
had
job
that
by Blake
ability.
Fisher too. Actually, got to give him his credit when he deserves it. He cleared out that pocket pretty well.
And so Fisher, I saw him get beat a couple of times.
Mhm.
There was one sack at least, and then there was a false start on him too, I believe.
He gave up a sack. He gave up a sack that the play that you were sitting by us, and then he also gave up a sack on the 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
The Panther, like I said, the Panther sideline was going nuts for that one. All right. Any other videos we got? I could show this as well for anyone that's curious. I broke up the target distribution and Stroud's numbers in case anyone was curious from today.
What did you see that was different from Hutchinson? Maybe today or like the last week or two that was so different from last.
I think
year?
he's just I think he's smarter, if that makes sense. He sits really well in zones. He did a really good job today. He had back-to-back, I think 12 to 15-yard catches on the 2-minute drill, where it was literally just him sitting in a zone, finding the soft spot, and Stroud just hitting him to where he can just get down and catch it, not get a hit from a safety, like protecting the receiver, but Hutchinson being smart enough to just sit and take it and just catch it right there. Boom, get up, spike the ball. I mean, it was easy. It was really easy. Yeah, Steve, we got to get to that Stover wham block because
Yes.
because you
That
saw
was
that clip.
hilarious. I
Because
saw that
Drew
today. I
is
saw
a
the-
Cade Stover blocking non-truther.
Ooh.
I couldn't believe it. I could
but a
not
wham
believe
block,
it.
and this is what pissed me off is like we ran these like wham trap plays like a little bit when Pierce was in, and like Stover did this last year in the regular season. Like he's better when he's on the move, like as opposed to like especially from the.
Oh my God, yeah. He cannot like take a step, and like his leverage at the point of attack after taking just one step against a outside linebacker is
Especially from like the
pitiful.
wing position, like he was getting rocked and he was like a fullback / wing. But like if he has momentum downhill, he just knocked Derek Brown,
There you
one of
go.
the best defensive tackles, 330 pounds on his ass.
Yeah, it was so bad that you had Panthers
Crazy.
fans saying it wasn't Derek Brown. I'm like, that's 95 wearing the arm brace. That's Derek Brown.
Someone tried to tell me too that Jake Andrews high load him. I'm like, no, like he's so like Jake Andrews, like if,
Yeah, I
for
saw
people,
that.
I guess pull up the clip if you got
I
it.
got
And
you.
we'll,
Yeah.
and then
pull
I'll
up
I'll give my thoughts on Hutch too.
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'll pull it up real quick. I was gonna say because I know JB's in the chat. Stover blocked Derek Brown. It was a wham. I mean, it wasn't like he
You might need to do it again. I think I clicked the X on accident.
Yeah, and then
But yeah, on Hutch, like I agree with Jacob's sentiment. I think it's just like the little things. which is, his IQ, but it's also maybe like learning leverage, and he's using his body better too, like for catches.
He is, yeah.
Making those tough contested catches. I will say though, he had several catches today, like Jacob mentioned, that are kind of like a couple crossers where he sat in the zone, a couple hitches. But there was one hitch that got broken up on. And it's kind of hard to tell, but there was like that, Lassiter pick in Greenbrier that was like a crazy play. Like on a curl or a hitch. I feel like he does still need to kind of work back to the ball a little bit on those.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, he has improved a lot.
Yeah, his first target today was a similar one, because I know you were right behind us, and you kind of said the exact same thing. Where I think it was Jackson that had the PBU. He had a good day for Carolina, but if Hutchinson kind of works back towards the ball, it's probably a catch, even if you don't gain the extra yard that you would have if you stayed where you are. But it didn't really attack the ball. You kind of let the DB get into your chest, and that's just an easy PBU for a lot of guys, especially if they have long arms. So. But yeah, so here's your wham block from Cade Stover.
It's not showing it. I don't know if you got to press it again. I think I might have clicked the X on accident.
Let me get back. All good. Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Also, don't know if y'all saw, but I thought
you might have to.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay. We got it. All right, I'm gonna slow it down for people.
Let's get our mugs off of here. There we go.
Yeah, Cade Stover coming across.
Wham! Is that what they call it, a wham block?
Yep.
That was my natural just response to that. It's funny.
Yeah. That was probably the coach's natural response when they
look at that, dude. He just throws two elbows into him.
Hey, we're here for the Cade Stover. We're gonna watch Ed Ingram here. Look at this. He's getting up on the linebacker, mauling him out of the hole.
And so, so Jake Andrews, Drew, if you want to kind of talk through this, I guess I'll start it. But on the wham concept, it's kind of similar to a screen from my understanding, in the sense that the center wants the defensive tackle to feel like he's going to win, but you don't want to give it away outright. So you kind of halfway fake a block, get him to commit, and then you can work to the second level. But it looks like once Jake Andrews lets him go, he slips, and then he's kind of just like, fuck, I'm just going to do whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, so he's just trying to, help Cade Stover, gain leverage on this block. And the goal is for him to slip up to the second level. And, yeah, there could have been a massive rushing lane if everything worked out. But great design. And Stover definitely did his
Luke
part.
Lachey in, by the way, just so we can get the comments block in 92.
Drew, or I'm sorry, Jacob, your thoughts real quick on running backs, Nick Chubb, Woody Marks, and Jawar Jordan today.
Chubb, I thought, looked the best he had in camp, from eye test wise. I thought he had a pretty decent day. He had one run. I don't know if there was video of it actually, but I think I did see a video of it. But he the run started left. He cut back. I think it would have gone for 20 plus probably. I think I don't know about touchdown. They may have made the open field tackle on him. He's not the fastest guy, so someone could have chased him down there. But it was a nice run, good cut from him. Woody, I didn't see a ton from Woody. I did hear that Texans Cap was telling me that his pass protection looked really good again. He did a nice job with the second team in pass pro. Jawar made a couple really nice plays though in the run game. Off a screen, he had a big gain. Jawar had a good camp. He looks impressive running the football. And I don't think Dari got a single carry. He just was the third down back and caught a couple passes. So I didn't see British Brooks get any carries. Damian Pierce wasn't practicing. So I think it was just those three guys that got carries. And, the Texans run game was pretty similar to last year for me when I was watching. It was a lot of not good runs mixed in with some really good runs. That's kind of been their story and it's probably going to be what they're going to continue to be. I think it looked better than last season. I think they were, instead of losing 2 or 3, they were getting 2 or 3, which is definitely an improvement. The run game is better, I think, but at the end of the day, I think they're still going to be relying on these big chunk plays.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell too. Again, even though this is a joint practice, they're still thudding. They're not going to the ground. And for me, I've been preaching Nick Chubb is a power back. And we really don't know whether he's bad or good. I think he's still good, but and the way Nick Chubb too is he's the old Jerry Rice where he runs out every play, whether he's tackled or not.
Yeah.
So
He does it every time.
But he said that like in one of his interviews, like he does it for conditioning. So like that's just the way he's wired. But
Yeah,
I mean, I tend to think that, you know, he is going to look even better in a game. Like, I mean, some of these plays, I'm like, you're not tackling him, bro. Like, you know, I mean, I don't think he's going down that easy, and that's his game. Like, that's what we want. We want a powerful offense. Him and Mixon. Mixon's more elusive, but like, and that will wear over the course of a game. Like, actually having to tackle him as opposed to just thudding every time. So like maybe you tackle him the first couple times, but now you come back again and again and again, it becomes more effective. So I thought he's looked good in my eyes the whole camp. He looks really good today. Again, you can't really tell exactly because of that. I agree with Woody Marks. It was kind of hard. Even in the preseason game, he didn't get good blocking. He didn't really spring. Maybe he had like one or two decent runs, but nothing crazy. But Jordan flashed. He had 2 or 3 good runs, that big screen. I did notice British Brooks out there, and he got flexed out wide and ran a route. And then, like you touched on this earlier, but Jacob Johnson, I mean, they ran, 21 personnel with 2 running backs with him as a fullback quite a bit. And that's part of what we talked about earlier, Drew, like you were saying, like your overall observation of Nick Caley's offense. So that was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I thought there was their first play from scrimmage and team was 12, or I guess 21-12, depending on if you want to count Jacob as a fullback or tight end, whatever, right? Because he does both, so it's kind of hard. I tend to just consider it 12, but yeah, 21-12, it's the same idea. It's Jacob, and like the second receiver was Hutchinson. That's what they opened with.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first play. That was a lot of the first drive was Hutchinson in 12 or 21 personnel. So. Just, like I said, Hutchinson's had a really good camp. He's done a lot of good things. I think Nick Caley trusts him, which I think is a big thing. I think there's a trust level of, okay, you're not going to run into contested zones, which I've seen multiple guys do in camp. Even if you want to talk, I guess, like we said, the Hutchinson one where the Kirk ball, he probably should have ran a little bit shorter, but that's something that I'm sure he's going to watch and be like, yeah, it's kind of on me a little bit. And like you said, Stroud probably could have put more air on it. It goes both ways. It's also defenders get paid for a reason. He made a really good play on the ball.
That was a really good play.
Yeah. It happens. Like I said, I thought Jackson had a really good day. So, but yeah, no, I think there's plenty to be optimistic about it. And, I'm sure we're going to get into offensive line talk here before we're over. And there was a lot of good from that.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about it.
All right, yeah. So I had my standout list. It included a lot of receivers. I didn't get to see the defense at all, so it was all offense from our side of the field. Yeah. So some of my standouts, Ursary was on this list. I thought he had a really good day. Titus Howard was also on this list. I thought both tackles looked really good. Cam Robinson, but I would start considering them two as the tackle duo and just rolling with the line you have right now because they've done a really good job. And I don't know if you want to trust Blake Fisher as a swing tackle at this point. So if you can get Cam Robinson in that role, that's probably the perfect role for him. Honestly, like I think it'd be overpaid at that point, but I think a swing tackle for Cam Robinson is ideal. Like that is exactly what the role you would want for him. I thought the interior did fine. I didn't think they did amazing or anything, but they did a pretty decent job as a whole. They didn't give up a whole lot of pressure. They could have done better in the run game, but Derek Brown's a beast. Like that guy is no matter what the Cage Stover block says, he blew up a lot of runs today. He's a very good defensive tackle, especially against the run. So the pass protection was good as a whole, though, for sure. That was something that I noticed. I thought there was a lot of good from some of the receivers as well. Jalen Knoll had a pretty good day.
Mm-hmm.
John Mechie continuing to have good days. Credit to him.
Had a great play.
Braxton Berrios had a pretty good day as well. He made some plays.
Yep.
Nico probably had the best day of camp for him. I thought from the days that I've seen the open ones, I thought he had a pretty good day as well. Hutchinson probably had his best day as well. Like there was a lot of good from the receivers. That's kind of what I'm, kind of what I've gotten at when it comes to the separation. I'm not really concerned about the separation from the receivers. I think it's more of, like you said, them trying to be vanilla, trying to work the quick game, working what they want to work on, and then Nico's really going to be the big play guy for this team. So you kind of know what's there for that. You're going to probably take some one-on-one shots down the sideline. Different situations. They actually, Drew, this is something we talked about in the Texans probe today. They actually threw him. You want to guess what they threw him? You want to guess what they threw Nico Collins today near the?
Oh my God!
It wasn't goal line. It was a back shoulder fade. And was it a drop or just a missed timing?
It actually was a good throw.
Was it a drop? I couldn't tell. Like it felt like it was a drop, but maybe not.
I think Nico was okay. Nico said two things essentially after the play. The first thing that we've said for the longest time was he was like, "Throw it higher. Stop throwing the ball so flat."
Yeah, he was pointing up.
He pointed up, but then he also did this. He still should have caught it. It was a good throw. it hit off his hand, so he should have caught it still. But again, you have
They were like
Mike
on the
Jackson
30.
on you. Yeah, they were 25 or 30. They weren't in the red zone. Yeah, but we've talked about it for the longest time when he tries to throw these like the fade routes, he throws it too flat.
Anything towards the
sideline. It's him, and or I guess like the fades, like in general, it's him and Stroud. They just don't have that connection down.
Yeah, that's what you're
especially in
saying.
the goal line.
I think it's Stroud. Stroud is
Were you saying he gets too flat, like too close to the sideline?
No, we were saying that Stroud throws the ball too flat.
I think the ball.
CJ,
yeah. He throws the ball way too flat.
But it's also like a chemistry, like certain receivers like it a certain way or react a certain way. So it's like,
yeah. But to me,
he is 6'4". Nico is 6'4".
Where we've talked about, like, me and Drew were like, okay, that's just not on Nico. Like, that's just a bad throw. I didn't think this one was a bad throw. I just thought, I do think you probably should put more air on it. But I also think sometimes Nico runs this route too far to the sideline to put more air on it. And maybe that's just like a thing that he wants to do. But I think if Stroud puts more air on this, he's probably out of bounds. So I think he probably did the best that he could have. And obviously they scored a touchdown. They went Stroud to Nico 2 plays later.
There was another back shoulder fade they ran going this way away from us on the left side, right? And was it to Higgins maybe? Or I'm sorry, to Hutch? Did Hutch catch a back shoulder fade? I feel like we saw one that was like pretty solid.
I don't remember. Was it today or was it like a different day?
I think it was today.
Okay, maybe I just missed it. I do miss plays there so often because I get locked in when it comes to like my
it's
videos
tough.
and
I know.
So
I'm the same way, man.
So often.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like they have guys to run the fade routes. I don't think Stroud throws them very well. He throws them too flat a lot of the time. But like I said, maybe Nico wants the balls. Like I just don't think he does because he's like 0 for 30 on bringing them in. So at some point, it's like we got to make an adjustment.
Exactly. It just like hasn't worked. Like what's going on?
Well, they've done better on them, like in the one-on-one clips. Like we've seen some success on it, and then you see them repping it.
Maybe this is the year.
Well, I mean, if you have two big body receivers in the red zone, like that needs to be in your arsenal, like to use their size. Yeah. Like, okay, if they're over the top, just throw it right here and I'll freaking catch it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, this is funny now that we're getting it. Like I got into the analytics and stuff. My whole analytical thing is don't ever throw a fade ball. They never.
Yeah, it's supposedly one of the worst plays, right?
Inefficient like red zone play in football. It sucks. There's one guy in NFL history that made it efficient, and that was Calvin Johnson.
Evans.
Nobody else has done it.
Mike Evans?
No, Mike Evans is not very. He's not bad at it, I guess. But like when it comes to like average efficiency, when like routes ran, the fade is so low for everyone that's not named Calvin Johnson.
Well, Nico's red zone route is that slant or that glance route. It's killer.
Today was a similar
slant boy
thing, but you run a skinny post, and it's the same idea. You break into the middle of the field. It's just a deeper route, and it scored a touchdown today. So, like I said, I would stay away from the fade routes. That would be my that's my analytical take. Analytical take there.
Yeah.
That and running tosses to the boundary.
Don't even get me started on running plays to the boundary. I hate it. I hate it so much. That and rolling your quarterback out less when he's right-handed are some of my pet peeves.
But that comes down to like awareness. Like he just wasn't like he would just call a play or like he would have a play designed for a certain player and the player would be out. It's like, come on, like these little things you have to like be aware of.
The one that made me so mad was the Baltimore game when it's a 4th and goal and we're gonna run swing lead, which we like swing lead. Me and Drew have talked about swing lead being a good play. You run it to the boundary, and Schultz made a good block. You can't blame Schultz here. There's no room. There's nowhere to go. You're on you throw it to the boundary, and it's like 2-on-4. There's nowhere to go. Like swing lead, they ran swing lead a lot in the red zone. We talked about this. They ran that play a lot, especially late in the season. And it's a fine call because you go through reads. If it's not there, you have the lead blocker out, and you can swing it out to mix it. It's a fine call. You can't run to the boundary. That makes no sense. It makes 0 sense. There's no room.
Yeah, awareness isn't great. So it sounds like we've covered most of it. Like I pretty much agree with your assessment on receivers. Yeah, you said Noel had a big catch. Mechie had a big catch.
Yeah.
They played pretty good overall, but then I guess it felt like they were getting covered at times, but we kind of both feel like that maybe that was just scheme being simplified, learning spacing, stuff like that is probably what that is. And I guess give credit to Carolina. I feel like I was surprised that they played better than I thought, but like you said, like they started slow or they started hot, kind of went slow and then finished strong. Good and bad. And then I don't know if we're missing anything offensively. Mills looked pretty good. He had some good plays.
He did throw like 3 picks though.
Yeah.
He turned the ball.
I think one of them was like a tip pass that might have not been one, but he wasn't as consistent. No, I guess there was good and bad.
He did hit Jalen Noel on a big play. like you were talking about. So that was nice.
Barrios was correct. Barrios had like 3 catches, including a touchdown and the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, Barrios still. I was talking with Nico about that because Nico's a Dolphins fan, so Barrios was there the last couple of years. Like he still looks pretty quick for a guy that's coming off injury and is an older guy. He still moves well. So that was something that I just kind of noticed. I noticed it from the Minnesota game. There was one play that Drew, we broke it down. I loved everything about it. You motion into a bunch set where you get a free release out route. It was so beautiful. It was so nice.
Scheming up looks for your receiver or for your quarterback.
Like I said, that's Christian Kirk or that's Jalen Noel or that's Nico Collins. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, that he might take that thing for 4 yards.
Hey, I was going to say, too, I realized, like, one thing I noticed that we haven't seen that we had talked about on y'all show in the spring when we hired Nick Caley is, like, that inline motion. Like, we haven't seen that yet. So I wonder if we're going to either, 1, run that, or 2, he's kind of saving it, where you bring the receiver inside and run them through the, the B or C gap. Okay, I feel like we haven't really seen that, right?
The insert motion, It. I will say, I don't know if it was an insert, but I did see Jaden Higgins blocking an outside linebacker today, and he whiffed, but it did happen. It was on a Nick Chubb. That was the one where I think I tweeted it, but immediately after they ran it, Stroud was like, "What?" He threw his. He was not happy with that. He was.
So that was the one there. He wasn't happy.
They tried to. So it was like an inside zone essentially, or a combo gap type block. Like it was downhill, right? So Jaden Higgins is trying to block whoever the outside linebacker was, and then I think it was a combo block on Derek Brown. He shedded that like immediately. He was in the backfield. And then Chubb tries to cut away from him, and then the outside linebacker is right there. So Stroud was like, "Oh my God, what are we doing?" Because they had run like a couple runs in a row where they got like 1 or 2 yards, and he was not happy. But then he followed that up with 2 touchdowns immediately. So there you go.
There you go.
Well, do you just want to kind of touch on defense? Based off reports. I mean, obviously we didn't get to watch it, but just from what you saw, just kind of recap some of that.
Yeah, so it seemed like the defense forced a lot of turnovers. That was my take. They had like 3 or 4 turnovers that they forced. But I was kind of listening to Cody Stoops talk about it. He was watching a lot of the defense. He had some good takeaways. Jalen Smith had a really bad day, apparently. He was getting dunked on by people. Ted got Stingley a couple times, it sounded like, which, I mean, credit to Ted. I mean, Ted might be a really good player, so credit to him, man. Aziz, I know, forced a fumble. He had Toa getting a pick. Toa, first pick of camp. Right there. That's on Toa getting interception.
Y'all had a bet on that?
No, well, not for training camp. We were just messing because we were trying to predict the picks, and I was like, man, you think Toa is going to get a pick? He's like, no. But here we go, man. We're getting Toa interceptions.
He got one that mattered too. The joint practice.
Yeah, Stingley had a pick as well. I know MJ.
Yeah, my guy Sting right here.
There you go.
I
like that shirt. That shirt's nice. I like that one.
Put like a butterfly sting like a bee.
I have to get myself one, man. There we go.
Yeah, let me know. I'll hook you. I'll get you one.
Let's do it.
You too, Drew. Just let me know one on the store. I'll hook y'all up.
All right, let's do it. Yeah. But MJ Stewart was the starting safety, by the way. We were talking about that earlier. I was going to get that in, but that he was the starting safety from people that I saw. So no Christian Harris at practice for anyone that wasn't keeping up with that. He wasn't practicing again.
Or Damian Pierce.
They're kind of working him in slowly, but he's been impactful. Like he's been involved in the defensive stuff the last couple of days. He's been in with the first team a lot, so he's definitely a guy to monitor. Moving forward, like he's not going to be this guy that kind of gets filled out. Like me and you were kind of on this thing. We didn't know if he was going to even make the roster, and I think we were a little wrong.
I'm still not certain though.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, what has he done? He hasn't practiced.
Yeah,
I mean, he practiced in he had 1 full padded practice. Like he's still got to
see. It'll be interesting.
And the more time he misses, the more time that EJ Speed and Henry Toa can put good stuff on
Jamal
tape.
Hill.
And Jamal Hill. Yeah, Jamal Hill.
Really explosive.
Yeah, exactly. Really good. So that's my argument. Like I'm not saying
that I tweeted with the first step.
That one clip was insane. I don't really see many linebackers move.
I would have a hard time moving him off the 53 because I would be very concerned about someone picking him up off waivers if he.
Well, you don't want to waste your investment. Like D'Amico found this guy as like a project with high upside. He's the LB guru. Like you invested 1.5 years, 2 years of coaching. You don't want to lose him. So you need him to be.
Pull up that Jamal Hill video for anyone that see it.
Yeah, and so as you pull that up, I'll say like he said like he was asked about him, but like he said like he's he's had to teach him like, hey, like you are a quicker linebacker, so learn how to play to your strengths. Like when blockers come, use your speed and quickness to get away from the blocker. And that's what happened on the 2 big plays that he made. He just quickly shed blockers and made it out to the, let me see, ad scene.
It was crazy. The first clip I love. Yeah, this. Oh
so it's such a good play. It was one of those plays where like you didn't even have to watch the all 22 to be like, okay, that's a really awesome play. I could see it in real time. I'm like, this is an incredible play. I mean, he is just boom, he's gone. I mean, that 49, I think that is, has no
Get
shot.
off me, little boy. Yeah.
He has no shot.
That little, I like that little shove too to like kind of create separation.
Yep.
I think he's doing that too to kind of stay
to hold the edge a little bit.
Right, and so then he is still able to adjust his angle because he has great downhill speed, smooth change of direction, and
he was
so
pretty excited too.
You have discipline and playmaking ability. That looks like maybe a rotational linebacker.
You know what's funny that I noticed when I was watching this game is he has like the exact same accessories as like Anderson and Darrell Taylor. Like they wear like the arm sleeve.
Yeah.
They look so similar when they're like
they're
weird. I noticed when I was watching, I'm like, man, that looks like. And this was another good play. Again, 49 just had no shot at blocking all game.
Who's that laying the hat? Is that yeast infection?
Let's see. That looks like that's Tremont Smith.
Oh,
laying the little shoulder on there.
Wow.
What do you see, Drew?
Smith.
The big hit. But I think 49 just that was really bad block.
Apple bobbing right there. That's
really bad.
Yeah, that was not.
Yeah.
Look at this.
he tripped on this guy's foot.
That's how you block.
He's like we always talk about like one of the things that me and Drew talked about after the Minnesota game was like Juice Scruggs moves very unathletic for an athletic guy. 49 moves like an unathletic guy. Like look at him coming around the edge here.
Look how clunky that footwork is. Wide feet. Heads down.
Yeah, it's not smooth at all.
That's why I love being on here and you can slow down the videos and stuff. You just get to see like all that type
on X or even on
either one. You can do it on NFL Pro too.
Yeah.
I've just I don't know why I don't think about that. Like the way I slow it down is like by clicking and dragging the thing. Like I'm an idiot.
Change
the setting and press play.
I can actually here. Let me go to NFL Pro real quick. I'll give you the rundown.
That's actually what I do.
Let me show you. Let me give you the rundown stressings on what you got to do here.
Yeah, and I won't take your shot on like stats. I'll let you keep doing your thing, just for me to know, like, because there's some stuff that you made.
That you want to post, go ahead, man.
But you do a great job. Like you kind of have like your certain things you look for and like your routine stuff. So like, I mean, I get it, but like I'm just letting you know, I'm not gonna go and try and like take your not gimmick, but you know what I mean.
I always like sharing this kind of stuff. I always like. But here, like just a random play. I'll share my screen really quick.
Shout out to chat. Sorry we're not too interactive, but it's kind of we're kind of going over stuff. But shout out Scott, Engineer, JJ Sugar. If y'all don't follow Jacob and Drew, I'm sure y'all are aware of them, but some of y'all seem like y'all haven't heard of them before. They're on YouTube as well. Texans Pro, Troy. Y'all know Troy. That's y'all's guy.
Yes, sir.
JB, Allen, Nosh. Who else we got? Yeah, we got the usuals in here. Everyone enjoying it. All right, Jacob, you're gonna do it right there.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So what you got to do? So if you're going, we can pull up a Texans play too. But so essentially, obviously, you have your
this Ravens out.
Yeah, I just went to the first game that was available, so I was like, all right, let's just do this. So obviously, you have like your different views you can select.
Yeah.
Or both. But if you just click this button right here, it gives you the speed option. So you can speed it up. You can slow it down however you want. Go back to normal. It's pretty.
But you said on the desktop to get to the preseason was different. I just looked on my phone.
Yeah, it's weird because I sent it to Drew too because Drew was asking the same thing. Weird. It's weird because they don't technically have it on NFL Pro, but there's like a link that you can share to get it on NFL Pro. So I've just been using it. I think Texans Cap tweeted it, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna say I just.
But then that lets you once you get into there, like
it's the same
now
thing,
use all the filters and everything.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's actually pretty easy because what you can do is so you can just like whenever the next games are gonna happen. So like after the all 22 comes out for the Panthers game, so that'll be Sunday, whenever. You can just search Texans. It's not going to give you the week, but it'll give you all the Texans plays from preseason. So you can go back to any of the Minnesota plays pretty easily. It'll be nice whenever that drops.
Got you. Well, I'll
And
have
so
to
what'll be nice is you
ask
can
you the
sort it.
questions on the advanced stats. I'm still like, I still don't. For some reason, like
I'll
their
have to-
site like isn't. I don't know, man. Like, and even PFF, like you pull a lot of data out of PFF. I'm like, how do you like PFF? Is I feel like it's
The
terrible.
one
like
that confuses me that I've gotten, so Sleeper gave us Sleeper gave a like a subscription for me for it's like fantasy points and what I think it's, I forget what the data site's called. Yeah, I guess it's fantasy data points. I am so lost on that site 90% of the time. I've kind of figured it out a little bit, but they have all these qualifiers you have to select and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what's going on half the time. I stick with my NFL Pro and PFF.
Have you heard of our data?
No.
I went down that when I was working on that article, like the CJ Stroud pressure, and that's like what Texans Cap and a lot of like the Football Insights guy do when they create those visuals.
Oh yeah.
Like you can pull like data, and it's like this massive thing, and then like a separate software that's coding, and you can just like type in commands to like do crazy parameters and create graph. Like it's a whole nother thing, and you can like make your own stats and stuff.
Yeah, because I stick with so my main three for anyone that wants to get into advanced stats, I can show you the three that I use mainly. If you want, let me get my for anyone that wants to get into this, because I will always help with anyone that wants to get into the stats of it, because this is something that I really like doing. So these are kind of my bookmarks. So I go. This is what I use.
What's that one right there? Is that UJ? Never mind. That's something else.
This is the one I use for EPA mainly. So they have this has success rate.
What is the site?
It's called RBSDM. I don't know why it's called that, but you can sort back as far as 1999 if you want. So you can go like this. I use this for like, okay, if I wanted to go to Bill O'Brien offenses when they're talking about Nick Caley being similar to that, you could sort it by 2014 to 2019 when he was the play caller for the Texans, right? So you go offense. They give you. Let me see. Let me sort this. I guess it's probably going to take a little bit, but they'll give you all the teams from this standpoint. So over the 5-year stretch, so you can sort it by the EPA. They have success rate. They have drop back. So they do that. They do this. They do rushing success rate. So you can sort it by all that, and then they do the same for defenses. And they have the quarterback ones as well, which are they're more adjusted stats. So you can they filter out for drops and spikes and stuff like that. So if you wanted to go here, you could go.
You already lost me.
I'll
wait for your tweets.
There we go, man.
I'm kidding. No, that makes sense. I think this is the same thing I was saying. It's like you should look into it if you like, and just use AI to kind of ask to learn about it. But it's called like our NFL data, and then you download. I mean, you could I could do some stuff, but I just don't have enough time for it. That's what
I was telling you about the Texans Cap like newsletter stuff. So because he has all that, so he was offering if I needed it. So I might have to ask him about some of those, because I don't really know.
You're smart enough to figure it out, and you could create some good stuff on that.
Yeah, I think I'm like I said, I enjoy the stats of it, so I probably could figure it out. I would just have to spend some time on it. But yeah, so I don't know if my screen's still up, but so they have all the quarterback stuff. So they give you success rate. They have expected completion rate versus actual completion rate. So you can get.
This is on RBDSM. Let me go ahead and put that as a bookmark if I haven't already.
This is a nice site to have.
Do you ever use? Sorry, go ahead.
What I was going to say is a lot of times the stats from here are different from the ones on NFL Pro. So you can kind of honestly, a lot of times, whatever's better for the narrative, you just roll with that. That is what you
absolutely
do a lot of the time. That's what I will do.
Absolutely.
I like using both of them. What I like to do is I use this site for offensive, defensive, and then quarterbacks and stuff like that. I use NFL Pro. I think NFL Pro does a better job of the specific players. I think they do a good job of the team stuff. So they give you all the success rate, like I said. So.
Where did you find the under center snaps? Is that on here too?
That's on NFL Pro. Let me go to that now.
Okay.
So NFL Pro. I don't know if it's gonna make.
I was gonna ask you, do you ever use FTN, the DVOA?
I don't use DVOA. I need to get into it though, because I know it's a big thing now, but I don't know a whole lot about it. I stopped sharing my screen because I got to log in real quick, so I don't want.
I just got a sub to it. I haven't really used it, but I've looked at it before. But it's basically the Aaron Schwartz guy, I believe, and he like created his own stat essentially, which is DVOA, and I think it's kind of like a war in a sense. I don't know if it's like EPA type.
And I think it's adjusted to. I could be wrong, but I think it adjusts to schedule, so like it adjusts to opponents.
Yes.
So it's which is pretty cool.
I think the David Coley defense was had a great rating. I'm pretty sure
On
they did.
DVOA.
They turn the ball over a ton, and
So
they
it's
played
trash.
Good teams.
The Texans had a top.
So what you can do, Stressons,
that's
is
hilarious.
All
right, show me.
If you want to sort by under center, so this, I'm not going to go to preseason because that's a whole other.
Did you just go to stats? Where are you at right now? Film room.
So if you want to go film room, what you can do, so you can sort it a different way. So if you wanted to just go all the weeks for the Texans, right? So this is all the regular season games. You can.
Hold on, you gotta go. You're going way too fast, bro. So you went to NFLpro.com, and then what did you click on after that?
So I went film room. So you just go in here. What you can do is, so there's a couple ways.
This is a terrible stream. They're watching me get instructions.
No, I think people want to know.
If you guys are still watching, shout out to chat. We have over 1,300 people in here right now.
Yeah, we had a good amount of people. So what you can do is, so you can sort it by. So this would be week 1 through 18. So this is just Texans offense as a whole. But so you can go passing, or I don't know if is it passing or pre. Oh, it's pre-snap. So quarterback.
It's a pretty good ASMR with that mouse clicking though.
So right. So you get shotgun here. So if you wanted to go shotgun, let's say under pressure. You could sort it here. You could go motion, no motion.
You can do players too, right?
Yep. And then you can go. You should be able to sort. Where is it? Down in distance.
Do you ever screen record from your computer?
Not really. I don't ever really do that. I always do it from my phone usually.
So then, can you bookmark or save plays so then you can go on your phone?
Yeah, you actually can. You can, or what you can do is, I don't know if you can save directly plays, but you can save the the search. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I have Texans preseason saved here, so I actually can just pull it up like that. But
have you thought about this though, searching a player and then having the playlist and then just recording that entire thing and making a 3-minute video?
I have. The problem was I didn't have a good laptop till a couple months ago, so I hadn't really had the opportunity to do it. I had a cheap laptop before now, so now I have a Mac, so I should be able to get that.
That would be a good way to do it for certain stuff. That'd be good content for you to do, or me if I get to it. But if you're hey, here's all 10, because you see the montages, here's all 20 of Cam Ward snaps. I want to watch it all in 3 minutes,
Yeah, exactly. So. What you can do, so this is a preseason, so this is for anyone that's curious, because I did do my tweets about the percentage of personnels and stuff like that. So what I essentially I would go for the personnels, you can't actually sort by personnels right now. So what you had to do was you had to go shotgun and then count it, but they give you the on-field players, so it's not that hard. So you get 29 offensive plays in shotgun, you get 24 under center.
That's how so you kind of piece it together.
Yeah, so then you can get motion, you can get no motion, which obviously I think
there's a couple sites that I've been through Texans Cap, and there's one guy that has it where you can kind of look at. I don't know if it's mid-season, but you can look at percentage of personnel breakdown, stuff like that, for the whole league.
I've tried to look in. There are certain sites, but for some reason they don't refresh very well. They don't save well from what I've done.
Gotcha. Hey, the stream's liking it. Nosh says this is such good shit.
I appreciate it, man. I
engineer, man. Y'all are reminding me of work.
No, man. The stats for are something that I've always enjoyed. So the breakdown stuff I do. So for pressure rate, for example, for some reason, one of the things that I never know is I don't necessarily know how pressure is calculated, because different sites do it differently. The amount of actual pressures over dropbacks, or the amount of dropbacks you're pressured. It depends on the site, because PFF does it differently than other sites. Where PFF just does how many pressures over dropbacks, but you can get pressured 3 times on the same play, and it doesn't. It's different. So a lot of sites do it off of the amount of times amount of dropbacks you're actually pressured. So that's how I did it. It's 33 something. So you can sort that off of, pressured. And then you can sort it by, under pressure, but also under center. So you can sort it a ton of different ways. You can sort it by run play versus pass play. And if you really wanted to, which I didn't get into because there just wasn't enough sample size for the offense, but something that I want to do is under center run game versus shotgun run game. What is the average yards per carry? What did they average on that? That's something that I want to get into. They just ran the ball 12 times, so there's no point in me even doing that.
So that's where you need to get into this, and I probably should too, is that NFL data. Just look it up and look into it. And like I did it on my computer one day and like downloaded the software, and it's basically like Nosh says Uncle Garrett is proud of facts. I am. But basically you download like a software which is like Python coding. But I was just asking AI, like, how do I do this? It's like, do this. And like you download this data pack that has all these freaking stats, but like it's raw data. And then you have to like tell it certain commands to like say this means that means this. But like your question right there, you could find a way to ask AI, say, hey, I want to find how many, all these crazy parameters, and you can spit it in there and it'll like tell you. So like it's just a way of like manipulating the data. You should do that.
Yeah, because I like
I should do it too.
I like I said, Drew's more like he's gonna watch the plays. I like the stats, the personnel,
oily hips,
the success rate. Like that is what I enjoy. Like I love that stuff. So that's why like I had the whole Nick Caley impact tweet, like the play actions, the under center stuff. Like that is what I'm into.
That's good
like,
shit,
I
man.
Prefer the pre-snap versus post-snap, honestly. Like that's what I like. Like I come out, I watch like, okay, what are we coming out in personnel wise? Like that's just something I so. And like I said, Drew and we work well together because it's a good combo. Like we don't overlap necessarily. Like I let Drew stick with the breakdown. I stick with the other stuff. So it works out well.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. But yeah, you've inspired me to kind of get back more in the stats. And I'll look into that NFL data stuff too and see if I can figure it out and kind of tell you. But like that way you basically can just, I mean, do you follow the FB Insights guy that does all those charts?
I think I do, yeah.
Or like, you've seen his stuff and he'll just do like, he'll take like, but he also does like different stuff. He'll take like a PFF metric and this and that.
Yeah, yeah. I like that. I like I like the guys that, I forget which guys they are exactly, but I like the guys that do the route trees for college players. I like that stuff as well.
Harmon.
Is
it Matt Harmon?
I think it is. Harmon's really good. He does a very good job with advanced stats. Like there are certain guys that I think take it overboard. Like Warren Sharp is too bought into the analytics. He's way too into it for me. And I like him.
I agree.
He's a very nice guy. I've talked to him a couple times. Like very nice guy. He's way too into the analytics though for me. Like even I think I debated him about Joe Mixon a couple times where I'm like I don't.
Where'd you talk to Warren Sharp at?
Just like I've talked to him in like in my
Twitter
mentions or DMs or whatever. So, but there was one time where I think, granted, like it was Madden rating, so who really cares? But I think they rated Bijan or something over Mixon or Mixon over Bijan. I'm like, obviously, I would take Bijan. Like I'm not gonna be biased here and say I think Mixon's better than Bijan because he's not. But I'm also like, I don't think it's fair that you're saying Mixon's the 28th best running back in the NFL because he was 28th in EPA per play or EPA per rush. I'm like, the offensive line just stunk. You watched like. Drew knows this. I remember when we did the Texans probe early on, I was not a Joe Mixon believer, like at all. I was like, this is not a good move. I didn't like it. And I watched him a couple weeks and I'm like, yeah, it worked. Like he's good. And
because you were looking at stats?
Yeah. I was big into like, okay, I'm watching Cincinnati and I'm like, he's just not like.
Okay, but it was based on yeah.
I watched tape, know the stats as well. So it was a combination of both. But I'm like, statistically, they do rushing yards over expected. He sucked at it. Like he was not very good. He didn't. I thought he moved. He didn't move very well on tape, and I thought he didn't really move all that well for the Texans last year. He would get out in space, and he's not breaking tackles necessarily. That's something we've talked about, me and Drew. He doesn't break tackles, which is weird for a bigger back. He just seems to outmaneuver you in ways. He out angles you.
Yeah, he's kind of got like a weird ability to like.
He's a unique mover.
He moves very weird.
A galloper.
He gallops in open space. It's weird.
Contortionist.
But it works. And,
I don't know how he does it,
that's something that, again, it's kind of, we talk about it going against the grain. It doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look great on paper because, PFF hates him. PFF has always hated him. There's multiple reasons they don't like him. And I can get into that, for people.
Well, he's kind of unorthodox. Like
he is.
Like
the main reason they hate him is because he's horrible in pass protection. I've tried to explain this to so many people. They value pass protection for running backs really highly, and he's horrible at it. He's awful at pass protecting. And so that's a big reason why they don't like him. So
that's fair.
That's something that is that. Can y'all still hear me? I think my AirPods died. Can y'all? Okay.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
But yeah,
you got something else?
No,
what are you looking
I was
up?
saying that the Mixon, like that's why they don't like him. There's certain players that they like. If you kind of go into the depth about the ratings, there's certain reasons that they don't like certain guys. But I also just think some of the ratings are just bad. Like, but you can explain a lot of them if you really go in depth with it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so like it's kind of come full circle now. So we talked about it, but like it's
Yeah.
it's like the grades and the scouting and the analytics, like they all go hand in hand. Like you can't just look at
Yep.
one thing alone. Like it's one big picture. So I think that kind of goes all hand in hand. But man, it's been an hour and 45 minutes. Like I've done streams solo where I'll talk for 3 hours and like May about whatever. And a lot of it's like interaction, but no, I would keep going, but I got to go here in a little bit. But I guess first, just go ahead and shout out y'all stuff real quick if you don't mind. Drew, you can go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just have a Twitter, DrewScouts. Don't really post too much on there. I have to admit, I'm quite busy with doing other stuff. But I like doing the Texans Probe, and I love being on here because at the end of the day, I just love talking about football, and I hope that I can achieve big things in the football
You
industry.
will, man. You will. That's awesome. I didn't realize what you were doing. That's awesome, though. But yeah, you definitely will. And Jacob?
Yep. No, so follow me and Drew, Texans Probe, YouTube and X. We don't really post on the X all that much. I won't lie.
I'm gonna start posting on
Drew's
it though. I would. I will.
So that's what we've been doing a little bit.
I will. Yeah.
But yeah, on there, a lot of times what I do is like if I post a thread or something that like is an interesting thing on breakdown on film, I'll repost it on the Texans Probe X, and then we go into it on the YouTube. A lot of our YouTube stuff actually Stresson's actually put us onto this. This is actually a funny thing. All of our stuff now we do live. Like we were pre-recorded.
There's no reason not to.
So
my opinion is you might
now,
as well double dip, get the live, and then it's a video uploaded. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah. So we pretty much all the stuff we do now is live. So it kind of depends on the time. Yeah. A lot of times just stay just stay on my Twitter. I guess Drew doesn't really announce like the Texans Probe time, so it's more me when I'll announce the times. But just if y'all haven't followed me, I'm TexansJacob on Twitter. Or I guess it's X. I'm still calling it Twitter. But I usually will, a day before, I'll usually give us give kind of a heads up of, okay, we're going to do Texans Probe at this time. But it's always up on, my Twitter and
YouTube. Just
YouTube
go to your
after.
live videos. Subscribe to the YouTube. You'll get notified.
Yep. Yeah. So it's always going to be in that live folder. All our recent ones are in live. I think we have one with Stresson's in there as well. If y'all want to go watch that. So we have a couple up. We do them kind of weekly now. So during the offseason, we're kind of more sparing. This offseason, like I said, Drew was really busy. I was busy, so we were kind of trying to get episodes in when we could. But we were kind of struggling with time. But now we kind of grind them out weekly. We go through. It's usually an hour 15. We kind of grind through the tape, and then we'll talk about maybe previewing for the next matchup is kind of our goal. It's harder in preseason because you don't really know what to preview for. You don't know who's going to play. But when we get to seasons, we like to do week 1 we're playing. We play LA, so we're going to talk about LA. But then at the end of the episode, we want to talk about what we're going to see from Tampa Bay. What does Tampa Bay like to do? So a lot of times we'll go into the week before matchup from Tampa. So I don't know who Tampa plays week 1, but so we'll go into that matchup, see some maybe defensive things that we think they're going to throw at the Texans, kind of stuff like that. So it's a lot of film based. A lot of times we start out with the stats. We go into the statistics first, and then we go into the film. So it's got a little bit of both. It's got a little bit of everything for everyone. If you don't like the stats, then just skip to where we start talking about tape. So, or if you like the stats and watch the stats, and you don't have to watch the tape or whatever. So it's got a little bit of everything. Like I said, me and Drew do a nice job, I think, bouncing off and giving each other ideas. We don't, like I said, we don't always agree on certain things.
That's good.
If we agree on one thing, though, is that Jamal Hill should be the Texans.
That was our agenda last year, man. That was the one thing that we were sold on. Get the guy who's athletic and can long snap. You save a roster spot. He can go make a tackle. It's perfect. It works perfectly. The first team to put an athletic guy at long snapper is going to be the team that dominates on special teams. It's going to happen.
But there is a lot of technique to it, though, right? I mean, it takes a while to.
And
all you're gonna be doing.
And then Kaimi's gonna start sucking. We're like, what the hell, Kaimi? Yeah, because the ball's all messed up.
Kaimi, it's because it's 30 degrees outside, not the long snapper, man.
That's fair. But yeah, too, Jacob, you're also on Instagram and TikTok as well, right?
I'm not on TikTok yet. I need to get on TikTok. That is my next step. I'm gonna do it in the next couple weeks or probably.
Just do it. So as far as me, what I've noticed with content creation, it seems like a lot when you add another channel into the mix. But you quickly learn your process on how to post what where and before you know it, it's
Yeah,
post here, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you
that
just
was
figure it
something
out.
for me when I picked up the Sleeper thing. For some people that don't know, I guess I didn't talk about this, but
Yeah,
I do.
talk about that. Yeah.
I work for Sleeper, so I essentially run the Texans community on Sleeper. So if you ever like, if you
I've had my buddy send me a screenshot of like that. I'm like, I don't know, freaking Jacob. Like, yeah, it's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I love. Honestly, it's super fun. I get to interact with a ton of Texans fans and stuff in there. So essentially, what I do is, but it's like you said, it's almost habit now. I post on X. If it's a cool tweet, I put it in there, and then you just tag it. Boom, it's easy. Like I thought coming into it, I'm like, man, this might be a lot of work, but you really just do it as habit now. It's just.
Is there a good like that's within the app? Because I have the app, but like I get so many notifications, I just turn them all off. Like I'm in 6 fantasy leagues on top of all this stuff that I do.
So what you could do,
but there's like a news section like in the Sleeper app.
Yeah. So what they did recently. So this is what I essentially did. So they have a community for every like NFL, NBA, and MLB team. I think. And I don't know if they have NHL or whatever yet, but they have the 3 main ones. So you can join like Rockets, Texans, Astros if you want. So essentially what I will do is, so if I will post on X, obviously, but a lot of people don't have their X notifications on. So you might miss it. So what I will do is like I will push notification any like big news on the Sleeper app so you can get the notification. Essentially, a lot of times I get it before like ESPN will get a big notification because I see it immediately. Boom, boom, you get the push notification. So you can join there. You can put whatever you can select whatever tags you want. So they have like breaking news. You can select that if you wanted to push notification.
Man, it's basically like a timeline on here. It's like Twitter almost.
It's awesome. It's really awesome, honestly. It's a very cool feature that they have.
But they're basically just trying to put everything in one for sports, like fantasy, scores, news.
So they have like the just regular NFL community. But I would tell you, so if you're a Texans fan, join the Texans community. And so it's a lot of Texans fans. A lot of people just select every NFL team and then put it in there as like their favorite so they get all the news. But if you just want the Texans news, I would tell you just go to the Texans community, join the community. And then if you ever have opinions too, I talk with people and replies in there all the time. Okay, so someone today I posted a clip, or I was talking about joint practice. So someone's like, okay, what do you think they're going to do at receiver? I'll go in-depth conversations with people in the replies in there, and I enjoy that back and forth. It's the same idea as Twitter, but it's another way to do it. It's another way to grow the following and grow out. So.
That's dope.
And, if you're not a Texans fan and you're watching, or if you like the Texans, but let's say in basketball you like the Spurs, join the Spurs community. They got a guy. I don't know the guy, but they have a guy for it, and I'm sure he's great. Like they hire a ton of good guys. There's a ton of guys that I know that if you're a fan of the Vikings, I know the Vikings guy. He's an awesome guy. Like there's so many guys.
DFS in here too, like the picks.
Oh yeah, they do.
Not even. Yeah,
they do everything. They have the gambling, which I can't technically promote their gambling because it's a whole thing. But yeah, they do that. They have fantasy. They have.
But a lot of people are using this app for all these features. It seems like
because it was known for fantasy. It still is known for fantasy.
But it's grown for like because I've seen like people sharing the screenshots of like stats of like the picture. Like the little cards that they have, like like so and so. They got like emojis and shit.
I use those for games now and stuff too because they're nice. It's really like them and Real App. I don't know if you use Real App at all.
That's the one that Nico was, right?
So those two are kind of the competition of like the in-game updates type of thing. But like I said, Sleeper was they really grew as like a fantasy. They started as a fantasy. I played fantasy with them since 2022. Like I love their keeper leagues. It's really fun. But the
answer to this is yes. Hutch has been running more than Higgins with the ones. But that's dope, man. I mean, I probably got to bounce here. I gotta take the girls to school in the morning, but I feel bad for Drew. He's kind of just listening to us, talk about a bunch of nonsense all podcast.
Drew had his time though, man. Cal was telling me to go in the cuck chair when he was talking earlier, so. He said I'm sitting in the corner here, but we got our conversations going, man. It was
that was a lot of fun, and that was funny how I lost internet, and I was hoping it was still up, and I was hoping y'all would still keep it going. I mean, y'all got some skills, y'all kept it going.
We just flashed back into our Texans pro, man. We're ready. It's like it's
exactly.
That was dope, and I don't know how y'all do it, but like my style has been like when I've done like early on, like when I had people on or just talked, I feel like I need to script stuff, and I realized
I don't script anything.
So like really I'm just lazy, and then like I realized like it's better just to talk. Like we already know all the topics. Like it's better to engage, like people will remind you, or you and Drew can kind of bounce off each other. And I feel like people like this open-ended,
I
long-form
agree.
content.
It's so much more enjoyable.
It's so much more fun than other podcasts.
For me to record that way. I like going into it like not knowing what we're going to talk about, and then just things coming up. Because even today we had we kind of have an idea of what we want to talk about, and then all of a sudden we're talking about EPA per play and DVO. Like we're just talking about whatever comes to mind.
Yeah. It's just like hanging, but like if we would have had like set topics, then you're worried about the next answer as opposed to like really focusing. And then like what you're doing too is what I do. Like on my stream, like I'll just go to my damn timeline. Like I post everything all damn day. I'll just scroll through it. Like, oh yeah, we're talking about that. But yeah, here's this. You know what I mean?
Me and you, that's what we were talking about. We were walking out of camp and we're like, man, like literally when you think about like the top Texas people, it's like we post so much stuff all day. It's a hassle. Like we are on there all day, man. Like you said, I remember
I feel bad, but there's so much shit, dude.
There's so much, yeah. I remember like the first time the first practice we went to, and it's like practice just ended, and it's like we're getting our AirPods in to listen to press conferences. It's like we're like there's no time off, man. We're grinding, man. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure people realize with the amount of content we put out there, but yeah, it's stressful, dude. I mean, and like for me, it's just my personality. It's like I fucking love the Texans. I'm addicted to the Texans. But yeah, before we go, Drew, scouting report on me and Jacob.
Oh, scouting report on you,
me, and then Jacob, or
we got the leverage, man. I play with good leverage. I guess
just like podcasting scouting report.
TexansJacob is a young, talented sports reporter with great knowledge of analytics while developing in the Department of Film Analysis.
Right, yeah, that's pretty accurate. I'll take it.
Texans commentator is a charismatic, excellent show host with great knowledge on football, former college football player, which adds value to his current position, and is excellent at engaging with the community.
Perfect, dude. All right.
That works. There we go.
That's awesome. You got it, Drew.
That's actually one thing they told us to do. Like my boss can do like a one-liner on his baby.
Oh, so that was like what I just did is kind of like a drill.
Yeah, it's like a teaching mechanism. Like they can do it on anything. They taught us to do it on things.
That's
like
awesome.
That.
Well, yeah, you're doing a great job. But yeah, appreciate you guys. I'm sure I'll see y'all online. Shout out to the chat. And yeah, that's all I got. I'll end it. We can say goodbyes out of here. But appreciate you guys. Make sure and follow all of us. And we'll see you next.